Lesson 15, powers and roots. First off, we want to identify certain parts here. So we have the base, which is our 5. That 5 is going to tell us how many times to use the base as a factor. And then we have this 2 up here. This is our exponent, our index. That's going to tell me how many times to use our base as a factor. So in this case, 5 squared would mean take 5 times 5 and give a value of 25. So if it was 5 cubed, it would be 5 times 5 times 5. So let's take a look at some examples. 5 to the 4th would mean I use the base 5 4 times. So I have 25 times 25, which would give us 625. 10 to the 4th. Base 10s are easy because all you need to do is count how many zeros you are using, and that's how many you have in your answer. So 10 to the 4th would be 10,000. 10 to the 5th, I would have 5 zeros, and that would give us an answer of 100,000. And then 3 to the 4th, use the base 3 4 times. 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 3 is 9, 9 times 9 is 81. Then 15 centimeters squared, which means 15 centimeters times 15 centimeters. 15 times 15 is 225. Centimeters times centimeters is centimeters squared. Next example, write the prime factorization of 72 using exponents. Now they did not say which method to use. So I can use any method, the factor tree, division by primes. I'm going to use division by primes. So I need to divide by a prime number, so I'm going to take 72 divided by 3, which gives me 24. I can divide that by 3 again, and that gives me 8. Divide that by 2, that gives me 4. Divide that by 2, gives me 2. Divide it by 2, gives me 1. If I use division by primes, I have to make sure I get all the way down to 1, and I can only use prime numbers on the side here. So now, using exponents, I have 2, I have 3 of those, so 2 cubed times 3, and I have 2 of those squared. And that would give me 72. Next, the figure shows a square floor tile that is 1 foot on each side. Find the area covered by the tile in square inches using the formula A equals S squared. So if I substitute, square is 12 inches. I substitute 12 in for S, 12 squared, this would make it 144 square inches. Next one, Mr. Chin wants to cover the floor of his garage with a non-slip coating. His garage measures 20 feet on each side. Use the formula A equals S squared to find the number of square feet of floor that needs to be coated. So A equals, I put in 20 feet in for S squared, so 20 feet, and I square it. That would give me an area of 400 square feet. Next one, express with exponents. So here we want to just simplify this. So I have my coefficient, my number in front of the variables as 2. I have 2 x's, so that's x squared. I have 3 y's, so that's y cubed. And I have a z. So that would be my expression with exponents. Next one, put my number in front, so 5. I have 1x. I have 3 y's, so y cubed. And I have 2 z's, so that's z squared. Here, there's technically a 1 in front. We just never put that down. So we'll just start with our variables. So it's a cubed, because we have 3 of them, times b. And the last one here, we have 3. got 2 x's, so that's x squared. 2 y's, that's y squared. Actually, there's 3 x's. 1, 2, 3. So that would be x cubed. Now here we're simplifying with radical symbols. That's what we call this symbol. So that's the square root of 144. So what do we multiply by itself to get 144? That would be 12, because 12 times 12 would give us 144. This one, you see there's a number here. That means the third root. Means what do we multiply by itself 3 times to get 27? Well, I know 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. So the cubed root of 27 would be 3. Simplify these. Square root of 121. 11 times 11 is 121, so the square root would be 11. The cubed root of 8, which means I can multiply 2 times 2 times 2 to get 8. So the cubed root would be 2. And the square root of 5 squared. This is the same thing as saying square root of 25. Square root of 25 would be 5, because 5 times 5 would give us 25. And the last two problems. The floor of a square room is covered with square foot tiles. If 100 tiles cover the floor, how long is each side of the room? So we already know the area. The area is 100 square feet. We need to find out what is the side. So the side squared. So I would need to undo a square, I need to find the square root. And then I find the square root of the other side. So the square root of s squared is just s. Square root of 100 feet squared would just be 10 feet. And name the first 3 counting numbers that are perfect squares and find their positive square roots. So we would have 1, we would have 4, and we would have 9. Those are the first 3 counting numbers that are perfect squares. And their roots would be, so the square root of 1 would be 1, the square root of 4 would be 2, and the square root of 9 would be 3. Now when you find square roots, technically you do get a positive and negative answer. Because they're just asking you for the positive square roots, we just wrote the